Hi everybody, here we have another video for you guys about wildlife books. The previous video was a little more dense. All the books that we talked about were reference books and they might not be relevant to everyone watching the videos or just someone who's interested in wildlife but not so much to learn about every single species. So I want to share some books for you guys which are more experiential based, written by people just like myself but much more at an expert stage and about their wildlife experiences and safari experiences. So first things first, a lot of people would think I would be mentioning the books of Jim Corbett. Funny thing is, even though I work in this industry and I know so much about tigers and all of my work and research is based around tigers, I haven't read all of Jim Corbett's books. And that's because the first book I read about Jim Corbett, Man-Eaters of Cumau, I just found his writing a little too dense, and I always thought that Corbett makes the animal look like a villain, and I didn't enjoy that. I wanted to think of animals in a better light. So I started picking up other books, and there's nothing against Jim Corbett fans. It's just personal opinion. A lot of people in the industry love Jim Corbett and it's just not me. But I picked up some books that I really like and I wanted to share that with you. First one, and this has to be one of my favorite books, is by Kobe Kruger, The Wilderness Family. And as the name goes, I don't know how her last name is Kruger because she writes this book based on Kruger National Park. It's a husband-wife duo, but the wife is writing the book. The wife lives with her husband in Kruger National Park in the middle of Kruger in a place called Malangeni. And in Malangeni, she learns about different wildlife and talks about how her 3 daughters grew up in the wild and then became literally the wilderness family. Talks about the challenges, talks about the behavior of animals that she learned, talks about different encounters with animals. There's a point where she had to get up every night because the generator would, or rather because the electricity would go off, and she would get up every night and go to the generator room to switch on the generator. And every night a leopard was observing her and one time even stalked her. What happened after, I will let Kobe tell the story. But you see this picture with a lion, and this is not in a zoo and this is not like a petting operation. This is actually a lion, and this is written in the 90s or 80s, right? So back then when they found a lion, and because her husband worked for the wildlife services of South Africa, when they found a lion cub abandoned by the mother, they took it in and they hand raised it and tried releasing it into the wild. So this book encompasses a lot about that as well. Very, very good book. Some parts of it brought tears to my eyes. Again, a very happy, real book. Some parts are sad as well. Second is The Elephant Whisperer. You guys must have heard about Lawrence Anthony. He is truly a wildlife hero and I really looked up to him. Sadly, he's no more. He died of a heart attack, but I really love this book. It's about how he purchased a large part of land in South Africa and made it into a wildlife reserve, how he brought communities together and really played a big role in conservation. And in this reserve, he introduced elephants that had not been in this area, in the entire region, for many decades. And it's a success story about that. If you want to learn about elephants, this is the book to read. If you want to learn about conservation, this is the book to read. Again, a book that brought tears to my eyes. It's very, very good. There are 2 other books with this written by his wife, which is Elephant in My Kitchen and second part of Elephants in My Kitchen. I can't remember the name of the second part, but once you find Elephants in My Kitchen, you'll find the second part as well. Really good books. Now, let me come to Indian wildlife. You must be thinking Swiyash only reads African wildlife. That's not true. So, remember I was telling you how I did not like Jim Corbett's portrayal of animals and especially big cats? Well, here is, and that was a hunting novel. People might think that, I'm against hunting novels, but that time, of course, that was the mode of conservation. Well, this is a hunting novel as well. And I'll tell you the reason why I like this more than the one written by Jim Corbett. This is by Hugh Allen, Lonely Tiger, based in central India where I've grown up. So of course I fell in love with it instantly. It's based around Satpura National Park, and it talks about a huge piece of land that he had during the British era and right after the British left, and how he stayed there and conserved that spot of land, but of course hunted the animals as well. The reason it's really good is because it shows that over time how hunting has really had a detrimental impact on wildlife, and how he tracks those animals, how he understands the behavior, and how he really grieves about the loss. I know Corbett also grieves about the loss of animals towards a later stage, but if you are someone who enjoyed Jim Corbett's books, take this book into consideration as well, and you'll see the difference. It's less dense, it's more easy to follow, it's fun to read, and you really learn a lot about it, about different animals rather. Okay, now we have another surprise African book. I don't know why African writers, some of them have really caught my eye, and there's a funny book, Whatever You Do, Don't Run, by Peter Allison. And Peter Allison is a safari guide. He's a private guide as well, just like me. And Peter, if you're watching this video, I would love to meet you someday because I loved your book. I've read the second part of this as well. So this is about Peter's life in Botswana and South Africa and other parts of Africa, being a guide on safaris and the animals that he encounters. I would actually love to write a book like this, but if you want something light reading on wildlife and have fun, this is the book for you. Now, last but not the least, I want to tell you about a book that I absolutely love, and it's by one of my dear friends, Shivang Mehta. Huge shout out to him because he's a very enigmatic, oh, I almost dropped your book, Shivang, I'm so sorry. He's an enigmatic personality, and also someone that when I was very young, actually used to look up to, and now it feels amazing to call him a friend. So it's called A Decade with Tigers. This photograph is from Bandhavgarh National Park, and it's about his life following different tigers in different parks. And it's very photographic, which I love. And that's the original Bamera. It's crazy. And I really like it because you can learn a lot about wildlife and the behavior of tigers through this. You can enjoy a lot of the photographs. There is a lot of first-hand account of different tigers here, and Shivang's work in the field, and really beautiful documentation of tigers in Bandhavgarh and in Ranthambore. Of course, there's Pench, there are a few other parks as well that he mentions here. But overall, if you are someone who loves tigers, there's a great book for you, written by a fellow Indian himself. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Those are some of the books that I highly recommend reading if you are into wildlife and if you're interested in this field. If you want more such videos, let us know the topics in the comments below and we'll try making them. We'll surely make them. We won't try, we'll surely make them for you guys. If you want to join me on a safari, just go to www.suyashkeshi.com and I would love to host you guys. Thank you so much as always for the love and the support. I love you guys. Bye-bye.